President Donald Trump and wife, Melania, on Inauguration Day. Dear friend of WND, we are living in truly amazing times. Right now millions of Americans, though still feeling they dodged a bullet last November with the stunning election of Donald Trump, saving them from the curse of a Hillary Clinton presidency, nevertheless are appalled at the disgraceful full-time effort now underway to undo the results and promise of that election. Understand what we cryptically call the left code for a revolutionary movement steeped in pathological anger and churning rebellion against America as a uniquely blessed Judeo-Christian, capitalist, constitutional republic, is at war not just with the Trump administration, but with America herself. And it will use all the forces at its disposal, from the mainstream media and Hollywood celebrity wackos to activist courts and mindless street violence, to discredit and block every good, sensible and desperately needed policy the new administration tries to implement. As respected columnist Dennis Prager wrote recently, what is now unfolding before our eyes is nothing short of a second civil war, and, yes, he means a real war. In fact, writes Prager, apart from the issue of slavery, Americans are more divided morally, ideologically and politically today than they were during the Civil War. Now, just 8 months into the Trump presidency, we are experiencing a time of shameless lies and nonstop outrage and disruption by the desperately unhinged left, aided by weak and self-serving GOP congressional leaders. But who is arguably the most important player of all in determining the outcome of this new civil war? That would be the news media. As a veteran journalist, I can say unequivocally that today's mainstream news establishment is more unprofessional, unprincipled, unhinged, biased, lazy, dishonest, corrupt, and, in a few cases, flat-out insane, than at any time during my 35 years as a newsman. Indeed, as I wrote in The Marketing of Evil, in today's America no institution is more complicit in making evil appear good and good appear evil than the news media. For that very reason, if real America is going to ultimately prevail in this second civil war, if there is to be a real chance to permanently reclaim our nation, one thing that is critically needed is a genuinely truth-oriented, pro-American alternative media to counteract the treacherous performance of the elite mainstream press. For 20 years, WND has been at the forefront of this movement, having in large measure launched the Real News Revolution as the first independent online news gathering company. Started by a team of longtime veterans of the mainstream media, WND took on the establishment and has been fighting the good fight ever since, slaying the dragons of secretive and intrusive government by exposing fraud, waste, abuse and corruption in the best tradition of American journalism. Not that this has made the establishment press any more responsible. In fact, things have gotten worse almost alone among today's journalism organizations. WND has summoned the raw courage and professionalism to report crucial stories that almost no one else, liberal or conservative, will touch. Sometimes we have paid a heavy price, as most pioneers do. For example, what other major league media organization defends, in a professional journalistic way, the Judeo-Christian moral foundation of America and doesn't pretend sexual anarchy and perversion are somehow normal and wholesome? WND is the oldest independent news website in America, and I've been here as managing editor for almost all of it since 1999. Our journalists are the best, experienced professionals who have worked with all the top organizations, from the Associated Press to CNN to major newspapers and news magazines, and yet there's one big difference: WND has a pro-American, pro-Constitution, pro-biblical, pro-common-sense worldview. We made a real difference in the 2016 election, reporting, for example, all the incredible stories documenting the Clintons' epic corruption, which the establishment media barely touched. And we will, God willing, make an even bigger difference now during the second civil war, being waged by the progressive DC establishment in response not just to the Trump administration, but to the great American sleeping giant that has awakened during last year's election season. As news pioneers, WND has broken ground from the very start. Although millions today are concerned about illegal immigration and border security, WND has been reporting on this like no one else for 20 years. Concerned about Islamic terrorism and jihad, WND was reporting on this in-depth way back when no one else was, long before September 11, 2001. Friends, you cannot have a free country without a free press. Yet most of America's big media today have devolved into a de facto propaganda ministry for what has become a pathologically irrational Democratic Party. That's why I'm asking you to please support WND. We believe WND is the kind of news organization America's founders would have loved. We don't mock patriotic Americans trying to set their country right. We don't rewrite government press releases and call it news. We don't pretend abortion is okay, or that Islam is a religion of peace, or that same-sex marriage is good, or that man-caused catastrophic global warming is settled science, or that more government is the solution to all problems. In short, we're not politically correct, and we have no sacred cows. Instead, our team of experienced professional journalists strives to do one thing: to tell the truth that Americans desperately need and deserve to hear. Now, many of you read WND every day, you appreciate it, you trust it, you wouldn't want to be without it. For that, we are very grateful. Thomas Jefferson. But what you might not realize is that what we do is difficult and costly. It isn't easy reporting the important stories few others will, taking on the media elite, slaying the dragons of political correctness, fighting unjust lawsuits intended to silence us, and constantly challenging and exposing lies, deceit and outright evil. If you believe, as Thomas Jefferson did, that the only security of all is in a free press, and if you want to see major growth in WND's kind of courageous watchdog reporting, rather than the perverse propagandizing of the establishment news media, I'm asking you to consider becoming a WND subscriber. But wait, you say, I thought WND was free. Yes, it is free and will remain that way. However, here's what I'm getting at. Traditionally, newspapers have relied not only on advertising, but also on reader subscriptions for financial support. But in the internet age, we find we can deliver the news to far more people by keeping the service free. Does that mean we have to lose the needed subscription revenue? Not necessarily. It's a time-honored tradition in the newspaper business that free newspapers ask for voluntary subscriptions. As a rule, satisfied readers who depend on a free publication for their news don't mind paying a little bit for it. That's why voluntary subscription donations have been the lifeblood of many free newspapers over the years. It's the honor system, you might say. If you'd kindly consider supporting WND with your voluntary subscription, here are a couple of easy options. Simply choose the amount you would like to donate for your voluntary subscription payment by using the Amount drop-down menu. Then select the frequency of your donation from the Frequency drop-down menu, either monthly or a one-time donation. If you wish to donate monthly, the amount you select will be deducted from your credit card every 30 days. Just call or email WND if you ever want to cancel or change the amount. You may also donate to WND's Legal Defense Fund, to help us battle the lawsuits and threats that always accompany honest journalism, such as the lawsuit we are currently fighting against the notorious terror group CARE. As yet another alternative, you may send a check to WND.com, P.O. Box 1627 Medford, OR 97501. Be sure to mark your check Voluntary Subscription Payment or Legal Defense Fund. Finally, if you prefer, you may donate by calling our toll-free order line 1-800-4WND-COM 18,4,963,266. Thank you. All of us at WND deeply appreciate your support. It's truly what enables us to keep going. I think you all will agree, with the very future of our beloved country now hanging so critically in the balance, we need a vibrant and free press more than ever. Sincerely, David Kupelian, Vice President and Managing Editor, WND.com Editor, Whistleblower Magazine Author, The Marketing of Evil, How Evil Works, The Snapping of the American Mind. P.S. If you'd use a credit card to make your contribution today, I'd like to say thanks by offering you 3 free issues of our popular monthly Whistleblower magazine. We can do this because we are confident many of you will want to get an annual subscription once you have an opportunity to sample this remarkable monthly companion to WND. That's a $22.50 value as our thank you for a donation of any amount. Support WND with your voluntary subscription.